This is Hannibal and Piper here from thehannibaltv.com. And we got what? Yes, a daily wrestling news update for everybody. So let's get into it. Bad news, actually, as I show you my Hannibal sweater, which you can get on our merchandise store, link in the description or at thehannibaltv.com. SmackDown only drew a 0.38 rating on Friday, which was below what the Fast National showed on Saturday. It showed a 0.4, but I guess the real rating for SmackDown was a 0.38, which is pretty bad. And Rampage, featuring Samoa Joe, my old tag team partner, only did a 0.14 rating, which is the same rating that NXT drew last week as well. So Rampage is down to NXT level ratings these days. It looks like the shine has fallen off AEW. Apparently, despite the news, the Dark Side of the Ring is not going to have another season. It is going to have another season, and there's also going to be another series on Vice related to the territories, as Dutch Mantel was part of the Memphis episode that was already recorded, along with Jerry Jarrett, Bill Dundee, and Jerry Lawler. So looks like more wrestling to come on Vice. Let's hope their next season is better than the last season for Dark Side of the Ring, because some of those episodes were brutal, particularly the Korea one and the FMW one. I was supposed to interview Sam Houston last night. However, his wife had to be taken to the hospital for something. So we're going to delay it until next Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern. My dad has COVID. A lot of people are still catching COVID. My dad had his 3 vaccines. He's 74 now. He still insists on going to work. He doesn't want to retire, and now he has COVID. So he's not feeling very well today. I hope he gets better. Last week, Stacy, the cat Carter, had to cancel her interview because she had COVID, and Greg Valentine's wife apparently had COVID as well. So let me get back into the Billy Jack Haynes news. I did say yesterday that he left me a message a couple weeks ago. For whatever reason, I didn't realize he left it. I only heard it yesterday. He did respond back to me in text messages. Apparently, he did leave a message with the Cauliflower Alley Club that he wanted to be in touch with me last October, and they never passed on the message to me, which doesn't surprise me. A lot of weird people involved with that organization these days. Very political organization. But I mean, come on, if a guy is trying to contact you, you should at least pass on the message. That takes 2 seconds. What else did he have to say? I'll read some of the notes from Billy Jack Haynes. He was sorry to hear about my divorce, my grandmother passing away. He's very mad at the agent, Eric Sims, for whatever reason. Apparently, he's been following superstar Billy Graham, his Facebook posts here and there. I guess people have been filling him in on Billy Graham, and he wishes superstar Billy Graham the best. He is doing well health-wise overall, and he thinks that I should be wrestling in WWE. So that was basically it. I'm going to try and reach him, and I'm going to try and get some type of interview with him. But good to know he's alive. And as I said, everyone, it's all over the news that he's been missing or disappeared. And apparently he tells the Cauliflower Alley Club to pass the message along to me that he's alive, because I guess he didn't have my number. Somehow he got my number since then. And they never passed the message along. So thanks a lot to the Cauliflower Alley Club, who I bought advertising with the last 2 years. I definitely won't buy anymore. Nick Jones says, greetings from Peterborough. Ivan Santos, yes, the Invader is now the champion of Savio Vega's company in Puerto Rico at 76. They're grasping at straws there right now. It's. I wish them luck. Paid programming. Someone won a championship at 77. Well, when you're in a fake sport, you can win titles in your 70s. But that ain't going to happen in MMA. But they don't even try to pretend wrestling is real anymore. And if you try and suspend disbelief like I do, you actually get shunned. So I was actually watching some footage from a girls' wrestling league that Maria Kanellis was involved with yesterday. And there was some really shitty match going on. And like there wasn't a big crowd for it either. But I noticed like they were just doing spot fest. It didn't look real at all, the match. I don't even know the two ladies involved. But in this spot fest, they would do these moves that didn't even look realistic. And the fans that were there just clapped for the moves. So it's like the only people that really watch wrestling seriously anymore are the smart marks that like the spotty style wrestling and just want to clap for the fake moves. They don't watch it because the storylines are that compelling anymore. And just to show you how shitty it is and how turned off mainstream people are, SmackDown is on Fox and only drew a 0.38 rating. And WrestleMania wasn't that long ago. And Rampage is down to NXT level numbers. I mean, I didn't even want to watch the highlights of either one. I did watch the highlights of Samoa Joe's Rampage match because I like Samoa Joe. That's about it. Would I go back to Puerto Rico to wrestle? Yes, because I have some friends in Puerto Rico that I miss. But the business is dead there these days. Jason loves my stuff, watches me almost daily. Thank you. By the way, I did do an interview with Ross Hart earlier today. Paid programming prefers the Stone Cold style of wrestling. Ben Richardson agrees with me on how bad it's become. It's terrible, and the wrestlers overall aren't cool anymore. They're little geeky nerds. Like there are some cool. I'm not saying Samoa Joe's not cool. I'm not saying Roman Reigns is not cool. But overall, they're not cool. And cool people don't want to watch a bunch of geeks that just perform spots and are small. A lot of them are small, don't look like they could beat anybody up in real life. It's just not my cup of tea. So I hate to be negative about it. I am putting on my own event September 3rd in Petawawa, Ontario. Great North Wrestling, featuring Ricky Banderas, Charlie Haas, Jeremy Prophet, Vipress, Nova, Jessica Black, Eve, a bunch of others, and it's going to be a more realistic style of wrestling. So, and you know what? I actually, after talking to some people today, I might actually put on an event in Calgary either later this year or early next year. And speaking of Calgary, as I said, I interviewed Ross Hart today. Tomorrow, I'll be interviewing Dan Crawford at 8 p.m. Eastern. He invented the ladder match. Truth doesn't think that Roman Reigns is cool. There you go. Well, I would say he is compared to the other wrestlers. I actually respect him. I would put Roman Reigns in the category of cool. Who else would I in WWE? No one really pops to mind. John Morrison is, but he's no longer with the company. Logan Paul, he's a part-timer. Jason, there's a lot of wrestling in the Maritimes, and the reason I'd want to do an event in Calgary is to do an event in the Victoria Pavilion, because it's on my bucket list of places to wrestle. And apparently they're going to be tearing it down next year. So I'm running out of time if I want to knock that one off the bucket list. Paid programming likes Cody Rhodes. Someone says this guy's not a fan of Roman Reigns. Well, as I said, I don't really watch wrestling, but as an outsider looking in, I think Roman Reigns is talented. Brock Lesnar is definitely talented, but he's a part-timer. Yeah, so there's just not that many people worth watching these days, and I don't think their new protocol of hiring ex-football players is really going to work out for them too well in the long run. Bill, did World Class Pro Wrestling shut down? I know they canceled their WrestleMania events, and I don't know what the status of them is, to be perfectly honest with you. I spoke to the owner a few weeks ago, and the Southern Junction venue was too expensive for them, and they were running into some financial issues. So I have no problem with them, but I think they did not act. They acted too hastily in making certain decisions that didn't help their business in the long run. But that's just my opinion. I do like the owner, and I wish him all the best. Jason would love to see me wrestle in the Halifax Forum. That's the MSG of Nova Scotia. Maybe one day that would be cool, but as I said, it looks like time is running out for the Victoria Pavilion, and that's one place I want to put on a show before they tear it down. So maybe after Petawawa, we'll be in Calgary for Great North Wrestling. That's what I'm going to work on. I actually haven't been to Calgary since the last time I was there was when I teamed with Samoa Joe in 2008. And I got a ton of friends there, so I'd also like to go back for that reason. Mike, where's Bob Hawley? There's another good question. He's been off the radar forever. I have no idea where Bob Hawley is. The last time I saw him was many years ago now at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Iowa. He wrestled a few matches there that are on this channel if you search Bob Hawley, the Hannibal TV. Nicholas, I've heard Ricky Steamboat has been making appearances, so he can't be doing too bad. I haven't heard anything recently more negative about his health, so hopefully he's doing all right. He's been a nice guy in all my interactions with him. Gabe, yeah, Bob Hawley was an enforcer for WWE, as Rene Dupree found out, apparently. That seemed to be like the beginning of the end for Rene and WWE after that Bob Hawley incident. They kept him around for a long time, so they liked him, despite he was never really hugely over. So they obviously liked him for being an enforcer, which I don't know if they have an enforcer anymore, to be perfectly honest with you. They used to have Bradshaw, Farouk, and Hawley, and to another level, The Undertaker. But I haven't heard that they actually have an enforcer. Will Bray Wyatt return for the right money? I'm sure he would. If I was Tony Khan, I know he's a huge mark for Ring of Honor, but I would have invested that money, for instance, in let's get the remaining alive Wyatt family members together, put them in AEW. They would have drawn more than Ring of Honor, which, like you can see, Rampage just did its lowest rating ever with Samoa Joe, who's the Ring of Honor TV champion, in a feature match. So obviously nobody gives a fuck about Ring of Honor. That's why it wasn't drawing flies and was sold, because nobody gave a shit about the product. Mike D, who many people feel is actually Jerry Saggs, wants to see a Jerry Saggs interview. Ivan, yeah, there's a lack of tough people in wrestling. Truth, Rampage is in a bad time slot. Well, Saturday night main event was also in a bad time slot, and it kicked ass in the ratings. Wallace, I have not been paying attention to Mick Foley. Last I heard, there was something in the news about him supposedly not caring that The Undertaker left him out of his Hall of Fame speech whereas anyone that knows anything about Mick Foley wouldn't believe that because he's a very sensitive person. And on that note, I wish everybody a wonderful night. I had a great workout today. I did shoulders, traps, and cardio. And I'm going to do some DDP yoga later tonight. Freebird, I do want to do a Steve Blackman interview, but he overpriced himself to an amount that is just a crazy amount for Steve Blackman. So he must be doing well in the bail bonds business, which is what he's in now, because the amount he asked for is out of my budget. Code roots for both teams. I'm neutral. I don't root for any teams as far as AEW, WWE, Impact. I'll be honest, I have no interest in watching any of them. But if I do see something entertaining on any of them, I will say it. Mike, you're claiming you're not Jerry Saggs. Well, if you were Jerry Saggs, would you admit it? I don't know. People could leave their comments in this if they think Mike D is, in fact, Jerry Saggs. One thing's for sure, if you're not Jerry Saggs, you're his biggest fan. So who knows? Maybe that interview will happen for you one day. We'll see.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Facebook at the Hannibal TV for more live streams and videos.
And I'm back. Just wanted to show you guys my wonderful haircut. Have a great